Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. This is a special edition of the Gridiron Report. It's what I'm looking for when Texas Tech hosts number 24 Oklahoma, 7 p.m. Central Time on Halloween. So, Halloween night matchup. Red Raiders are going to be in their all black uniforms, which is a sharp look, black with red trim. I'm expecting a good matchup, especially early. I think Tech will play it pretty close early. But then I want to see what happens in the second half. Are the Red Raiders able to make the plays to keep this close, make a game of it? Or is Spencer Rattler, the redshirt freshman quarterback for Oklahoma, and their explosive offense going to pull away from the Red Raiders? So there's some pretty key matchups here to watch. And I think some of them mirror what Texas Tech faced with West Virginia, and the fact that Oklahoma has a really good defensive front. Once again, this offensive line for Texas Tech is going to have their hands full. The Sooners, they're different, though, than West Virginia in that they'll show definitely multiple fronts. They'll disguise their defense and bring linebackers and DBs on blitzes. If Texas Tech doesn't read those blitzes, don't pick up those blitzes, then it's going to be a long night. This defensive front is for real. They're number one against the run in the Big 12. I think they're only giving up 92 yards a game. So that'll be interesting to see. This was a similar thing said about West Virginia before that game last week, and Texas Tech was able to run the ball when they needed to, despite being down 3 of their backs. So, that's going to be interesting to see, because I think if Texas Tech can give Henry Colombi enough time, Oklahoma's secondary is susceptible to giving up the big play in the passing game, and Texas Tech certainly has a number of targets who can take advantage of that. Now, I think when I'm talking about Texas Tech offense, the next thing I want to say that I'm looking for is who's actually going to play on both sides of the ball. And some of it's COVID, some of it is the suspensions, some of it is injuries. So we have a whole lot of things going on here, a confluence of events to keep several players on both sides of the ball out. At one point last week, Texas Tech had like 5 or 6 true freshmen at the same time playing on offense in crunch time against one of the better defenses in the conference. They were able to pull out the victory. They played at a high level, but this is Oklahoma. The stakes are raised a little bit with it being a national television night game, Halloween against the Sooners. Blue blood program in college football. So we'll have to see how those guys perform. Who comes back? Who's still out? It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a battle of attrition before they even kick off Saturday night. So it's that part of the season, and with the COVID era bringing a whole new layer to it, a major layer obviously to this, it's going to be interesting to see who plays and how that affects each team. So I think other than the first game of the season, we're really going to see that play have an effect, I believe, on Saturday night. So we'll see how that goes. And then on defense for the Red Raiders, look, it's a lot like Oklahoma. The defensive front has played very well. The linebackers were tremendous against West Virginia. Colin Schooler, Rico Jeffers, Krishan Merriweather, Brandon Boyer Randall. Go down the list, man. Jacob Morgenstern. All those guys had really good games. And then in the secondary, DeMarcus Fields played one of the better games by a defensive back for Texas Tech in a long time against West Virginia with 3 pass breakups. I felt like that last play was an interception, but whatever. It won the game. It ended the game and gave Texas Tech the win on that pass breakup on the last play of the game on the Hail Mary for the Mountaineers. So they're going to be tested big time by Spencer Rattler, who comes in with crazy arm talent. He hasn't been the most accurate passer. He didn't turn the ball over against TCU last week, which was huge. Because if the Sooners don't turn the ball over, they're just going to light up the scoreboard. Even if they're down some receivers, which they might be. TJ Pledger has emerged as a back who, as the guy. He's rushing for, 5 yards, about 5 yards a carry. He's not, Adrian Peterson or Joe Mixon. Samaj P. He's not in that class, but he's paid his dues. He's been there for a while. He knows what to do, and he's a solid running back, big, Power 5, Big 12 running back. So that's something that Texas Tech, they can't allow both the running game and the explosive passing attack to affect Tech. So they're going to have to, once again, limit the run, but then also they're going to have to somehow force Rattler into turnovers. And according to Pro Football Focus, Rattler's been, I believe, the best quarterback in the country in terms of throwing under pressure. So I'm not sure if you want to bring a lot of blitzers or not, but that's why they pay Keith Patterson the big bucks and Matt Wells, the head coach, big bucks, is to figure out those schemes and how to attack these kind of guys. So they're going to earn their money this week because I think it's a difficult matchup for Texas Tech. But that's what I'll be watching for, is how they play. Are they going to sit back and mix up like a lot of zone coverages, or play man underneath with cover two? What are they going to do? It'd be interesting. Are they going to bring pressure on third when it's third and medium and third and long? Because Oklahoma, they can go yard any play with their passing game. With Rattler just has a very strong arm, very good arm. So that's the chess match. It's going to be interesting to watch. And then finally, this is the last thing I want to watch, is Oklahoma's been very good at special teams. Texas Tech has been a roller coaster. Really good. Set a record for the longest punt ever, and then have an extra point blocked. That kind of deal where you recover an onside kick, but then you muff one on the other end. You block a punt, and then you have another block. You have your own punt block. So they're also the only team in the conference who has yet to convert a field goal. They're 0 for 3 on the season. So through 5 games, Texas Tech hasn't kicked a field goal. So that could be an issue. And it's weird because Trey Wolff last year was like, I think a 92% kicker. He was one of the best kickers in the conference. So I was expecting a borderline first team all Big 12 type season from Trey Wolff, and that's just not what we've seen. I don't think it's all his fault, but he definitely has some kind of confidence problems going on, and that's something to watch. See if they've improved on that, if they made some strides in special teams, or if that's going to be a struggle again. So there's a lot going on with this game. Texas Tech, they're big underdogs, which is usually the case against Oklahoma, but they're home underdogs. Last I saw on the ESPN's Daily Lines, they were 15.5-point underdogs to number 24 Oklahoma. So I think it'll be closer than that, but I do think this is a tough matchup for the Red Raiders. But let's just see how much they've grown. Let's see if they can stack success off that victory over West Virginia, or what's going to happen. But with that, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.